starting your movie with a getting ready for your day montage cliche.
Almost boring.
What's our motto?
Boring is always best.
I mean, if your motto is so well known by your crew that you've trained for synchronized call and response, then the helicopter pilot saying it's almost boring is a pretty clear case of obvious setup is obvious.
Code 7! Code 7!
Code 7, and the military code 7 is what you would say when you are not available or on break. That doesn't seem to be the case here, so I'm wondering how death of your primary client fell down the code list to 7th. How is this stanchion still stanchioning after the professional-turned-panicky guards unstanchioned it just a few seconds ago? I hope that someone gets my, urine in a bottle. Urine in a bottle, yeah. Michael knows that this car has tons of explosives underneath it, but casually walks his client right by it. Yes, maybe he knows it's on a timer, but he's about to tell a cleanup crew that they'll need a bomb squad, so that doesn't sound like someone who knows an explosion is imminent. By the way, why was this on a timer? I thought car bombs were supposed to detonate when the person tries to start their car. How would you know when someone was trying to get into their car unless, like clockwork, the person went into their car at the same time every day without fail? Is this where the movie is saying Seifert's car was? Because they walked past the car and then walked all the way down this long strip before getting to Michael's shitty car. True, I don't know everywhere they walked and where everything is in relation to each other, but that's surely the movie's fault, no? In case you confused it with Belarus, former Hawaiian island. Also, should it really say former Soviet Union at all? Isn't it a former republic of the Soviet Union? When Texas and California declare independence, will we call them former USAs? Further also, Belarus is a pretty flat country that barely cracks 1,000 feet above sea level and has no mountains. So, much like my college girlfriend, those mountains are obviously fabricated. You know that old saying about death and taxes being the only certain things? Well, Gary Oldman playing a psychopathic movie villain just barely missed the cut.
I was taken to one of Dukovic's internment camps.
Your Honor, I request that this entire testimony be disregarded. Without any evidence, this is merely hearsay.
Sustained.
Sustained? The witness is giving a first-hand account of exactly what he encountered. That's not hearsay. That's cliche. You can't object to cliche.
So far, the prosecution has been crippled by the lack of any hard evidence against Dukovic himself.
Except for, eyewitness testimony.
Agent Roussel, I don't have to remind you the importance of this.
And I'm certainly not reminding you now. Lord, no. I'm just giving a statement of fact that I don't have to remind you how important this is. I'm no England expert, but it appears that they're getting on the M6 motorway. Then, for no reason at all, they're in the middle of a city again. Seems like they'd want to stick to the highway. I have no idea where they're supposedly going, since their ultimate destination is The Hague. And the last time I checked, it was a North Sea between the UK and the Netherlands. But the movie doesn't have to know, because it knows the bad guys are about to hit the convoy, and who cares what the route is. And Interpol is compromised by the dude from Clear and Present Danger, but you'd think his boss would micromanage the route to avoid routes like this. Also, these assholes drove a super long way from Manchester, but the movie makes it seem like they've only been on the convoy for about 3 minutes. Convenience. Noun. The state of finding the exact keys you need to escape your situation have somehow landed within your reach. Origin. From the Latin phrase, filmus bullshit. We're a full minute into this shooty, and I still have no idea the geography or number of personnel involved. There seem to be endless members on both sides getting taken out. I can never even tell which black vehicle belongs to which member of which team that Sam Jackson will inevitably call a motherfucker. Movie suggests that just because Kincaid is a badass hitman, that he can run around in the open and avoid getting shot better than the entire Interpol team that was protecting him a minute ago. Either that or the bad guys suddenly became terrible at killing people.
We gotta get off the street.
There's a safe house not far from here.
Because of course there is. Wait, she created a contact for Interpol on her iPhone? When you want to not do that? What if your phone gets stolen and someone starts crank calling Interpol? Oh, what if it's the band Interpol? What if they take requests?
Get to the Hague. See what you can get out of Dukovic.
I'm sorry, but how does she not know that this guy is the inside man? He's the guy in charge of all the details. Furthermore, what do you expect to get out of Dukovic? He's on trial for all his atrocities. Is he going to just admit that he knew someone on the inside of Interpol so that he could kill a key witness? In case you confused it with Amsterdam, Minnesota.
Say Dutch prison areas. What are they gonna do, beat me with a clog?
That's racist. If Amelia knew about this safe house, why didn't other members of Interpol? They've been there for at least a few hours now, and I can't quite figure out why no one has thought to check the safe house that's apparently walking distance from the ambush.
These aren't bumps. No bumps. Just one dead Japanese arms dealer.
I get the sense they probably already argued about this several times, but the movie just skipped over it, so they won't mind if, right now, I skip.
I've come for my money. I delivered as promised.
You mean the bad guy from Clear and Present Danger, Desperado, and 24 is also a bad guy in this movie? What are the chances?
And now they lock me up like a rat. Feed me poison.
How do you think you play this character, Gary? Well, I was thinking about just doing my impression of Peter Stormare.
27 times. That's how many times this asshole's tried to kill me. 28!
Prague.
Kincaid must be a terrible hitman if he's tried to kill Michael that many times and failed. Not exactly believing this story at all. Probably because they're trying to artificially give these two characters a past. Besides, I thought before the Japanese arms dealer, most or all of his jobs were boring. And since then, he's been protecting third-rate businessmen. How the hell does Kincaid get hired to kill him that many times?
Picked up activity at our safe house in
Is this
town.
something I need to know right now?
No, usually I would wait, but the person you're on the phone with needs to surreptitiously hear this info as well for plot reasons. Also, because it's so completely dumb, I'm sending it again. How did you not check the safe house immediately? Another landlines. I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I would never try to with him. But this man is nearly 70 years old, and his character has a bullet wound in his leg, so I can't exactly buy him jumping from this height like he's Iko Uwais. Apparently Kincaid is wearing the brand of handcuffs that disappear when falling from high distances. Very handy in situations like these. Also, he isn't at the very least incapacitated after this fall. Since there was a helicopter flying around, how the hell did the pilot not relay the information that Michael and Kincaid jumped off the roof? How are they not surrounded by agents right now?
All I need to know about you, all your early arrests, your father in and out of prison, you following in the same footsteps.
Friends don't let friends drive while expositioning sympathetic backstories. At least that's how I think the saying goes.
Who was holding a knife to my client's throat?
And you killed him.
No. I saved my client.
Man, seriously, how many near misses did Michael have before the Japanese arms dealer got killed? For a guy who likes boring and is proud of it, he sure has gotten into a lot of including a situation where someone was able to breach his protection to put a knife to his client's throat.
What happened? Lose your edge?
Not sure, but the movie is. These two are a lot of fun together, sure, but considering how long we've just been listening to them trade barbs and vehicles, I feel like the movie may be overvaluing that chemistry a bit.
Your wife's been in a car accident. Bad one. What? So, Geneva dude gets a pass?
Hold up, why did Geneva dude get a pass? You had him in the water and completely in your control. You couldn't pop a cap and then head to the airport?
Go straight to the hospital. Bopped up in Sonia's room. 2 dozen agents waiting for me.
Wait, Interpol staged this your wife's been in a car accident thing to lure him into a hospital and wait for him to walk into his wife's room? Why not arrest him outside, or when he landed at the airport?
Yeah, the rock shifted just as I took the shot.
But if you're the badass contract killer the movie has taken great pains to show you are, how are you resting your aiming arm on a loose rock in the first place? That is a rookie mistake.
That's really beautiful, man. You ever just write stuff down, maybe, I don't know, throw down a haiku or two?
Bryce takes his eyes off the road here for 7 full seconds. Basically enough time to drive the length of a couple football fields. Crazy enough, but when you consider he spent half this ride talking about buckling up and safety first, it's especially silly.
Life is a highway and it's mighty long. It's full of twists and turns.
Sorry, Sam, a proper haiku is 575, and that was clearly 576. Nice try, though. Battle of the Hams.
We asked your attorney, but he said he didn't have any contact with you.
Well, then that's a bad attorney. Keep your mouth shut, Kevin. I kind of hate it when a movie shows the bad guys doing something proactive, like looking at a hotel's security cameras to see what car the good guys stole, but making that completely moot when they discover a cell phone signal that will allow tracking them even easier.
I'd stay awake if you let me drive.
Funny, I'd stay awake if you two would do anything other than this driving Mace Daisy shtick.
It's a lot easier without these cuffs.
Michael just allows Kincaid to go pee somewhere without even giving a second thought that he might make a run for it. Why did the bad guys stop this f***ing far down the road to take shots at Michael and Kincaid? And terrible shots at that.
There's more than one.
Perfect deduction, Sherlock.
Samuel Jackson would be motherfucking excellent at motherfucking CinemaSins. Why is it that the bad guys look this close in this shot and then that far in this shot? I know camera lenses and perspectives can skew distance, but this is way too much of a difference between two angles.
They can track a cell phone.
As a badass hitman, he should know that.
Get the bad guy's van.
Jesus, what was that, a missile? That couldn't have been anything more than a bullet, right? How the hell does that blow up the van? Was it doused in kerosene?
One of those places where nobody knows your face and name.
So, jeers? I sure do hope you think this kind of stuff is funny, because this kind of nonsense is pretty much all the movie has going for it. Propeller hats! Not only do they look ugly, they don't even work. I spun one of those things for hours and my feet barely even left the ground. This camera will now zoom in past Kincaid in hopes that we'll forget that Bryce has peripheral vision and would certainly have seen him leave. I get that the movie's got a movie and all, but him sneaking away and having enough time to get in, grab a beer, and do a full ta-da is some Texas prime cut bullshit. Just wondering, why bother making this a secret room when there are windows here that someone could easily break into from the outside?
The testimony will be allowed. Assuming you produce your witness by 5 p.m.
Everyone here knows the situation in stakes, right? Arbitrary ticking clock is arbitrary. This asshole always calls or texts Amelia right when Kincaid pretends to go do something so that he can escape. How is he always lulled into a false sense of security by this guy? Amazing how this guy finds Kincaid immediately in a big city, just in time to protect him from all the bad guys who are also looking for him. What's even crazier is that they think he's just going to be walking around, like they knew he'd escaped from Michael and be out in the open. Besides, why would they think they're still in Amsterdam? They're supposed to be going to The Hague, so it's like they know what the movie knows. This guy starts following Kincaid, and he's about to kill him when Michael comes out of nowhere to grab him from this hedge. How did Michael know to be behind the hedge in the first place? This doesn't look like the easiest place to access. And this guy could have killed Kincaid well before he got to this spot. Thankfully, these bad guys with earpieces didn't communicate to any of the other bad guys with earpieces when they spotted Kincaid. Movie dodged a bullet there, huh? Also, how is that a knockout shot? Did that guy have an off button on his back? What the hell? She sees this. Seriously, you could barely make those tulips out if someone told you exactly where to look.
Oh, you mean the guy you snatched in the bush and the two you left knocked out in the park?
Movie tries to make it seem like Kincaid knew about those people all along. What was he going to do if Michael didn't take care of them? Movies think that this kind of omniscience is amusing, like he was going to be totally fine even if Michael didn't show up, but I'm simply not buying it.
Takashi Kurosawa. He's my client. She exposed him and he got killed.
I pop Kurosawa.
If you didn't see this coming for this entire movie, you need your plot dar calibrated.
Double my money on that corrupt Asian motherfucker.
The movie is going to great pains to say that Kincaid isn't a bad guy because everyone he kills deserves it, but earlier he said his count was around 250 at least, so I'm guessing he accidentally murdered some innocent people in there as well.
I was at the airport for another target.
The story of Kincaid just stumbling upon Kurosawa while looking for another target is pretty unbelievable, but whatever. I just want to know how he can tell that this is Kurosawa, even when he looks at him through a scope. I mean, this guy must have the most famous face in the world if Kincaid can verify his identity from here.
300 meters to a firm C-cup titty-sized window.
First, that zoom out was way more than 300 meters. Second, if you think that window is a C cup, then we need to talk about breast sizes. That C would make a D look like an A. And third, measuring things on the titty scale. Weird how these guys have switched from sneaking up behind Kincaid to kill him to let's just shoot guns in public now that Michael isn't protecting him anymore.
I hope they kill him, I really do.
Okay, fine. No one does oblivious indifference better than Mr. Reynolds. Absolutely no bad guys see Kincaid steal this boat, but somehow part of the convoy knows to turn on this street to follow a boat that it can't possibly see from its position on the road. This middle finger starts on the left hand and ends on the right. Leave it to Samuel L. Jackson to figure out how to miraculously flip a bird that changes hands. How do you miss? Right there with you, buddy. I have no idea who is in what car going where or how Deadpool got there on the bike, or even what direction you're going in the boat. This action scene is pure confusion, but it sure was cool when that car went in the water, though, right? Can't help but think that the bad guys have bazookas at their disposal and haven't used one until now. Might have been handy on that country road in England when they completely failed to kill Kincaid earlier. Also, it's going to take Bazooka Joe about 8 hours to set this thing up so that Michael can save the day. And while I don't want Kincaid to die, it's pretty infuriating that he doesn't. Instead of just following where the boat is going, the bad guys decide to crash into Michael instead. There's really no reason why they would do this, other than that they're lazy. But I, too, am sometimes lazy, so I get it. I mean, these assholes really think Kincaid told Michael where he was going to go instead of just following the boat. This is some unnecessary bullshit. How the f*** did Kincaid know where to go? Is Goron's Torture Palace a well-known hangout in Amsterdam? Nice of the art department to set this up with the dark blue lighting and deep shadowing. That, combined with the quick cutting, makes it basically impossible to see anything that's happening. They might as well have just cut to a title card that said Sam Jackson kicks ass in this scene and been done with it.
I was at a client's funeral.
I swear this movie is more narrated flashbacks than it is actual movie. So wait, you're telling me that after her team tackled the guy she was chasing, she was so thirsty for Michael that they banged right then and there at a funeral? That's hilarious, unbelievable, and sinful. How the f*** was this necessary? I mean, yes, we all imitate Ferris Bueller's Day Off when we can, but this asshole stole a van because it was boring. Why wouldn't he also want to drive boring, too? Airbags actually deflate pretty quickly after they deploy, so no need to shoot them. You know, in addition to the whole putting you and your friend's life in danger from a ricochet thing. Yeah, show the clock so we know time's just about up. At least that way you don't have to force it by having a character.
Time's just about up.
Damn it! I highly doubt they saw them from here. It's total bullshit. Why are they on the other side of the road? If they're looking for Kincaid and Michael going to the courthouse, wouldn't the bad guys want to be on the street that's on the way there? Samuel L. Jackson in Changing Lanes 2. Michael survives this. This is a case where one shot is just as confusing as an action scene with a million different cuts, because the camera is swinging back and forth to keep up with individual actions in a tiny space, so by the time it gets to Ivan shooting at Michael, it makes no sense why he shoots his own man in front of him. It's probably because his buddy just got up from the floor and got in the way, but we don't see that, and what it ends up looking like is another terrible henchman taking more terrible shots. Weird that this pan doesn't have any dents in this shot, but when Ivan inspects it, it looks smaller and has 3 dents in it. Good to see that chains continue their 100% success rate of wrapping securely around their intended target in movies. Keep it up, Chains. We're all counting on you. Why is this even still here? Why hasn't he run outside and called the cops? How the did he know that Michael was in here? We get it already. There's a time deadline, but at least now that you've forced this news position on us, you won't have to show us the... Damn it again!
As we seem to be reaching our deadline.
Is there seriously no way that the people on the outside who know Kincaid is here can inform the judge that they've arrived? Are we really sticking to this? Well, if the witness isn't physically in the courtroom at 5 p.m., we cancel the trial bullshit.
I believe we still had a few seconds on the clock.
And I believe as the sitting judge who set that arbitrary time limit, you could change it based on whatever new info you wanted to. But sure, let's just go with your technicality for movie's sake.
He wanted me to take out a political rival exiled in the UK. I refused.
Why?
Because while I was there, he ordered his men to slaughter a village outside Polex.
So while you were negotiating the assassination of a political rival, he got up and ordered the slaughter of a village? I feel like I'm missing some key elements to the story, like why you were there long enough to witness that, and why you were even within earshot of that order being made. So wait, a witness who came in at the last second, a known hitman, says, go to this website, and the prosecution can just load that up in front of everyone to see without the defense getting to look at it first? Dukovich points a gun at Kincaid, and much like the dumbass with the bazooka earlier, he waits until Michael can do something to save him. A war criminal who has just told the court he doesn't recognize anyone's authority and has committed numerous atrocities is slow on the trigger.
It's over, Assistant Director. Give up.
I'm genuinely curious as to whether she thought after she said this, he would really give up. Badass hitman who's shown lethal accuracy the entire movie misses a couple of times to extend the suspense and drama. And you know how I feel about suspense and drama. Dude, you had no idea where that helicopter was going to crash after you shot that dude, so your philosophy about not killing innocent people could have been severely tested. Barely looks green screened at all. Can't hardly notice. I'd just like to point out, for no reason at all, that Die Hard came out over 32 years ago. Ending on a freeze frame? What is this, Police Squad? You know, thinking back, this actually tracks. Send it anyway. Jeez, are there always fights happening at this bar? Seems like this place would be extremely unpopular, but maybe that's its charm.
You gonna shoot me, Frank, after I saved your life?
Did you know the CinemaSins writers have podcasts? Check out Sincast and Behind the Sins by searching for CinemaSins wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's like a goddamn milkshake in here! I ain't drinking up!
I was supposed to leave last night with the lady marshal, but for some reason she wanted to wait.
You thought I wasn't gonna notice $3 million and 7 of my men dead?
Everyone!
But no more secrets.
I know your secret, your dirty little secret.
Oh, assassin and eavesdropper. That's your real double threat.
Looks and personality, a double threat guy!
And has a plethora of those motherfuckers.
Oh, yes. You have a plethora.
Who is more wicked? He who kills evil motherfuckers or he who protects them?
Ezekiel 25:17.
How about you take a sugar frosted off the end of mine?
The one thing his up brain has figured out is he really loves you.
This is Sparta!